Okay. And we will, okay. Participants. Attendees. Okay, they're kind of starting to come in here. That's weird, why can't I? Okay, we've got a couple coming. Okay, good evening. This is Jim Toast with the STA. Thank you for dialing into tonight's open call. We're just going to wait another 3 minutes or so to give people an opportunity to dial in. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to tonight's call. I was very happy to hear about the Chicago affiliate. I guess a fair number of your students put in for scholarships with STAC, and I think 7 ended up getting awards on it. So that's good. I'm glad that worked. Yeah,
we're glad to see that. Thanks for bringing that to attention as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find some way to squeeze that in so I don't want the Chicago folks angry at me. It's a tough group. Hi, this is Jim Toes, and if you're dialing in for the STA open call on the Greenwood Project, you're in the right spot. We're just going to wait another 2 minutes to give people an opportunity to dial in here and get settled in. Thank you for your support. We look forward to tonight's call. Hi, good evening. Welcome to tonight's STA open call. We're just going to wait another minute to give people an opportunity to dial in here, and then we will get going. We do appreciate your patience and your support by dialing in tonight, and we're looking forward to tonight's presenters. Okay, we're going to kick this off. I'll just go a little slower on the STA updates, all right? Listen, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar titled Greenwood Project, Introducing High Achieving Minority Students to the Financial Services Industry. Tonight's event is made possible by a grant from the STA Foundation, a 501c3 corporation that serves as STA's educational arm. Now, there is no material for tonight's call. However, we did send a reminder email at 3 p.m. If you did not receive that email, please email us at securitrytraders.org, and that way you'll be sure to get a replay link of tonight's call. Again, that's sta@securitrytraders.org. Now, before we introduce tonight's presenters, we have one STA house item to bring to your attention. STA's 88th annual Market Structure Conference is just over 2 weeks away. It's in Washington, D.C., October 6th to the 8th. This year's event will be hybrid. Speakers and panelists will be presenting before an in-person live audience and then live streamed out to a virtual one. The program is really basically has been finalized. So we do encourage everyone to just take a look at the program, and please join us, whether it's in person or virtually. A lot of work and effort has been put into this hybrid event, and we're very confident that the content that we're going to be putting out is some of the best around. Okay, so now we're going to get on to tonight's webinar. The value add which diversity brings to an organization is well documented. Firms of all sizes are seeking ways to add diversity to their workforce while simultaneously putting in place policies of inclusion that enable the intended goals to be achieved. Now, some firms seeking to add diversity, however, have a difficult time finding qualified candidates due to the combination of competitive forces and a limited number of vehicles for introducing new talent into our industry. And this is where the Greenwood Project steps in. The Greenwood Project is a nonprofit organization which introduces high-achieving minority students to careers in the financial services industry. They are a true agent of change, with around 75% of their students going on to full-time employment. Now, here with us tonight is Bevon and Elois Joseph, co-founders of the Greenwood Project. Originally from Trinidad, Bevon moved to the United States after high school to further his education. He is a graduate of DePaul University. His career has been exclusively in the trading industry. He's worked at firms such as JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Chicago Trading Company, Peak Six Investments, and Achievement Asset Management. Bevon also worked on the trading floors of NYSE, NYMEX, and Amex. Elois Joseph, prior to co-founding Greenwood, worked on the trading floor of the Chicago Board of Options, CBOE. As a financial professional, she attained many licenses and worked in the compliance examination division for an industry regulator. Elois grew up on the west side of Chicago, earned an MBA from North Illinois University, and a BA in journalism from Columbia's College Chicago. She is proud to be the first in her family to create generational wealth and to have the opportunity to teach this process to others throughout the Greenwood Project.
Yes.
Bevon, Elois, it's a privilege to have you both with us here tonight. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Listen, I just thought maybe, let's just turn this into a conversation. Maybe just a good place to start is at the beginning. I mean, when and how did you decide to start the Greenwood Project, and maybe even tell us what the Greenwood Project, how it even came about, its name. How did you come up, what does the name mean, signify?
Yeah, you always want to take the name part, and I could talk about how we got started.
Yeah, well, the name Greenwood comes from a community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called the Greenwood District. It was a neighborhood that was established after post-slavery, and there were a lot of Black businesses, a lot of Black wealth, a lot of Black millionaires, and the dollar circulated within that community just again and again and again. Remember, during this time, this was a time of segregation, so there wasn't much integration or inclusion, or African Americans couldn't shop or dine in certain areas. So they did for themselves, and they were very wealthy, very affluent, the most documented millionaires immediately after the slavery era. Anyway, due to tragic history, the area was destroyed, and Greenwood Project pays respect and homage to the community Greenwood District, and we named our organization the Greenwood Project, with a vision and mission to restore and reinstill that community building in the young people today. Greenwood Project.
And we started the organization because of again, to your intro, you talked about us working in financial services. I was based in New York, and Elois was from Chicago. But between us, we both worked 20 plus years in the industry. Many of the firms we worked at, we will often look around the trading floors and not see many people who look like us. And we wondered why that was, especially around entry-level talent, internships. And we realized that it all came down to social capital. You had to, in many instances, even know what investment banking was or a hedge fund was, to decide to pursue a career, education leading you towards a career in that field. So in 2016, we said, you know what? We know 5 really young, some young, talented young people, and we want to introduce them to careers in finance. Let's get them some internships, and started with 5 students. Went to some firms here in Chicago that we used to work at before. Said, hey, can you take a chance on this person, this young person? We'll find them, we'll train them, we'll pay them ourselves. And that 5 has turned into over 450 later, and we're continuing to grow and start going a little bit national, even working with companies in London as well. So the organization exists because of our own story of just being in the industry and seeing the lack of diversity.
I mean, I know you just came off, just the summer class of 2021. So why don't you just give us a little snapshot into how did it go? And I mean, obviously you're doing this in the COVID environment. A lot of it, I'm sure, was done virtually. How did the class go?
Yeah, it went really, really well. Definitely virtual for the last 2 summers. This was our biggest class so far, 156 total students. 70 of them were high school and the rest were college. We had 80 total last year. We're looking at 200, at least 220 next year. So in a virtual world, we were able to make it happen. We didn't have to turn away any students or corporate partners. The list actually grew from probably about 25 to maybe 55 now. A bunch of those being fintech companies as well. 2020 really was a catalyst for our growth with all the social justice issues in the country. A lot of financial firms wanted to help. And when they asked us how can they help, we have no shortage of ways for them to get involved. So definitely our biggest class. It was a huge success. Elois could talk a little bit more about some of the major accomplishments there, but again, biggest class so far. Students got a lot out of it. Companies were really happy. We're looking to go into 2022 really with a lot of momentum as well.
Yeah, some of the accomplishments that I am happy about it's just the fact that we were able to conduct this program virtually. As Bevon said, there were about 70 college students that we put through our program. Before our students go out to work for a company, we actually provide an intensive financial training boot camp that they must complete before we send them off to one of our partner firms. And this year we partnered with Wall Street Prep as our educational component. And they brought in training for advanced accounting, financial statements, DCF modeling. We also work with them on their professional development so that when they go off to one of our partner firms, they actually know how to be at work. They know how to manage their calendar. They understand the importance of showing up at meetings, cameras on, things of that nature. All of those little professional nuggets of knowledge that we wish someone had told us about when we entered our first job, we make sure that the students are prepared and well equipped to hit the ground running once they start their internship with a partner firm.
That's great.
And from that experience, a number of individuals have received return offers or even full-time offers. So we're really happy about that.
That's great. Can you give us like a little peek into like the supply demand? I mean, what are you kind of seeing? I mean, I know you did mention that you have an endless supply of students, but on the other hand, you did go from 25 to 55 firms. So that's like meaningful progress, right? I mean, is it just any insights on the supply and demand on this, especially the side from from the companies as far as what type of response that you're getting from them? Are they calling you? Are you still having to go out and proactively go after them or anything around that?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing we know at Greenwood through our personal experience also with Greenwood itself, there's no lack of talent. What there is a lack of opportunity. So we're only limited by the number of companies willing to open their doors to young people. So we have targeted goals we want to hit over the next couple of years. Again, going from about 70 college kids to 100 next year. So the demand from both sides actually is kind of overwhelming. Students who want to be in the program and companies who want to take students. So, on Greenwood side, we're a small organization that's been growing really quickly. So for us, it's a matter of capacity, really, building our capacity to be able to handle that demand, and that, but it's great to see more and more firms stepping up to help, get these young people these opportunities. But for us, starting here in Chicago, looking at New York and other cities to grow and reach more kids, we're recruiting nationwide as well for college students, not just the state of Illinois anymore. But again, it's just, a lot of firms really ask us all the time, how can they help? And like I said before, there's tons of kids out there to help. So the demand from both sides has been overwhelming. We hate turning away students, we hate turning away firms, but at the end of the day, we are a small organization that's growing really quickly, like I said, and it's all about capacity for us.
Yeah. But what is your long process look like? It feels a little bit almost like what we go through. We're having this conference, this event in October, and then it ends, and then we have to start the process all over again, starting like October 10th for the coming year. So can you just kind of walk me through like where are you in the cycle of a typical year, and what's next up that the people listening in can help with?
Yeah, so right now we're in our recruiting phase. So to your point, right, we were like, the summer is our bulk of our work, the peak season for us from like May to August. But with more and more students coming to the program on the high school level and college level, and more firms coming on board, more and more companies want us to do things year round as well. So actually we're starting to engage our young people now on a monthly basis starting next month. And that's ongoing training, development, webinars, we do like employee, like volunteer days, or weeks with them as well over the winter, spring break. So we ourselves will start engaging our students more and more throughout the year. But right now we're in peak like recruiting season for the college program. The application goes live October 1st. We expect a lot of students to apply from all over the country. We're getting a bunch of job descriptions in from firms because we're a matchmaking process to place those internships, place those kids in internships. And we kind of close the application out the middle of December for college. And by January, all the college kids know where they're going, firms know who they're getting, and we could just focus on the training. And there's a bunch of pre-work that we have the students do as well through our online platform. So for example, intro to accounting, intro to Excel, intro to the Bloomberg terminal. We really want to help them start getting introduced to those things before we get into that 4-week boot camp. So for us, our engagement has gone from strictly in the summer to like pretty much year round now.
Yeah, we're always busy. It just depends on which busy season we're in at that time. So we're always busy.
Yeah, I always laugh. People at the conference are like, when it gets down to the end, they're like, "Oh, you must be looking forward to taking time off next week." I'm like, "What? Oh, wait, man, we're starting to sell for next year, but while people still remember us,
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that. I mean, listen, you're doing a lot here, right? You're touching schools, you're touching obviously firms. Love the grassroots part about this, that it's just not limited to one area. I think that opens a lot of opportunities, right, for for universities and also for firms. But I mean, like, just walk through like the help that you need. It's more than what I think I know when we talked about this, the help that, listen, obviously every nonprofit needs funding, all right, but you need so much other forms of help around that. So why don't you just give us an idea of some of those other areas where people listening to this can be thinking of you and looking to help in those areas?
Absolutely. Well, one thing about our model is that we don't ask for donations, we ask for investments. And that's investments of money because it costs to run the program. And we invest so much in the students regarding their development, their training. We sponsor the SIE license, a number of other licenses. So we definitely ask for investments of cash. We ask for investments of time, because not only do we prepare the students with the training curriculum, but we also provide them with mentors, an individual mentor for them to check in with maybe twice a month. We ask for volunteers. We cannot do the work that we do without our strong army of volunteers. We ask for firms to be engaged, to contact us, to see how you can get involved, to reach out to students, host or provide a lunch and learn. That's an opportunity for your team of professionals to get in front of our students and just tell them about what a day in the life of the role that you do looks like, so that they can learn about it. Because at Greenwood Project, we say students can't be what they can't see. And the best way for them to see it is for professionals to get in front of them and just share their experiences with them. So there are many ways for firms and individuals to just get involved with Greenwood Project.
And Jim, I'll also add, what we need is advocates, right? So people like yourself, STA, all your members, I mean, they work at firms, they have people in their network who might have interns at their company, right? What's helped us to grow so quickly is people telling other people about us, really. On the student side, students tell other students about us. On the corporate side, firms are saying, hey, let me introduce you to this firm. So we believe in collaborative impact. That means just getting everybody on board. We all fight in the same fight. We all firms are all looking for talent. Again, we have the young people, we have the process, the curriculum that works. It's proven that it works, with about 75% of alumni working full-time in finance and 100% full-time employment across the board from all our college grads as well too. So I think the asks that I have of a lot of firms is, make an introduction, where we could take it from there. Again, we're happy to talk to new firms, and it doesn't matter where they are now, right? We're doing this virtual, and our college kids also travel for these internships as well.
Yeah, I mean, time, we have an award that we give out to affiliates, and we have these affiliates, obviously we talk about in Canada and in the US, and they all do great work in the local communities, but we every year we try to just recognize one standout, and the criteria that we kind of use isn't necessarily that, oh, this affiliate raised more money than that one. It's really about time. and because that is the most precious asset that we all have. So, going through the time, I know our Chicago affiliate had a great interaction with you with some of the students on that. I mean, just the time that they took to organize the event, to raise the money, to process applicants for their scholarship fund, and then even listen, I know that I'm sure there's people out there that would love to dedicate 10 to 20 hours to just talking to candidates. So I promise that we'll look to encourage our affiliates to be doing that as we go into 2022. You're going to be coming down to DC in obviously in October, so we're really looking forward to having you come down there and to be presenting, and also to gain more exposure on it. But I guess the last question I want to ask you though is, like, you've had very good growth, obviously, and not till you start using Wall Street equations like hockey stick quarters, but I mean, what is the long-term vision, and where are you kind of hoping that if 5 years from now, if we're talking again, 5, 10, what is the long-term vision for that you're seeing with this?
Yeah, so our team actually went through an exercise this summer talking about our long-term vision of 5 years out, and 5 years from now we expect to have at least 500 kids every summer coming through the program, and that's across multiple cities. That's in London, other countries. Again, the firms that we work with, they have locations all over the world, not just the United States. And again, travel alone is such a huge thing for students to get outside of the community, outside of Chicago. Our vision is to see a financial industry with no barriers to entry, especially for Black and Latinx talent. And with Greenwood, we're very small. We're having an impact on a small scale. I think bringing these corporate partners along, advocates, of course, the financial investment into the mission, we could really disrupt the way diversity recruiting is being done, or has been being done for the last couple decades almost, and really bring our young people to the realization that they can start building generational wealth, starting with themselves, in the spirit of Greenwood and Black Wall Street, Tulsa, after which we're named. So that's kind of the vision I have. We see the young people and how great they do after these internships and get converted to full-time, and the ripple effect that job has on them. And then on the other side, we make it really easy for our corporate partners, right? We are going to find these young people, train them, get them ready, and bring them to their doorstep. We're just asking these firms to open their doors, and we'll continue to support them. We still continue to support our alumni as well. Elois, I don't know if you wanted to add something there as well too.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that not only are we giving our students exposure to the financial industry, but we're also giving our partners exposure to students who were not aware that certain financial firms existed. We're working hard to dispel this notion that there just aren't enough qualified, diverse talent. That's untrue. And we're proving that here at the Greenwood Project. One of the biggest issues is that if you're looking at students who come from under-resourced communities, a lot of them just may not be aware of these big financial institutions because their families don't have dealings with them, and therefore they're not applying to them, they're unfamiliar with them, things of that nature. Greenwood Project brings those two different universes together, right? And now they are aware of one another, and they are recruiting from and also applying to. So it's like a marriage of two totally, I guess, opposites, but yeah, it's like a great marriage and a great connection, and we're just very happy with the end result that we are having from that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, listen, there's a lot of small to mid-sized firms who want to realize the value add that diversity brings to their firm, and that firm may not have the resources to go out and explore and find qualified candidates. You make and they want to do the right thing. It's not like it's doing the right thing, but like I said, it's the value add that comes to the firm with adding diversity to your workforce. You make it very easy on them to do that.
Yes.
And I think that's the value, the agent of change here. It isn't. I just think it's great, and having come from a big firm, I mean, yeah, we had a lot of resources there where we could send people to a lot of different colleges. I can tell you at the firm I worked at the first time, I know for sure that they would have loved to have a resource like this, for them, because like you said, it is like a partnership. You are working for them by finding them good candidates to do it.
Yes.
So, listen, I think it's great. I wish you nothing but success on this going forward. And I do want to, yeah, I know we had this partnership for this year to kind of just help with promote it, but when you come down to DC, you're going to see that there'll be 3 other people, Bevins and Elois is down there from previous, charities that we worked with that come down. All right. So, it's like we put on once you kind of come into the, you get the STA blue jacket, you're welcome every year to come. Right. So we have, so Jody Grenier from the Foundation of Women Warriors is coming down. We did some work with her a year ago. And I really do hope, I do see this as a partnership, and I really do hope you see it the same way. I think the work you're doing is great. And I wish you nothing but success on it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Jim, and same likewise, we're so thankful for you guys, partnering with us and taking time to hear our story and see the impact, and that means a lot to us. Yeah, we're looking forward to DC every year now. Like you said, we're in the STA family, you guys are in the Greenwood family, so you're stuck with us,
Yes, that's great. All right, listen, I'm going to end it right there. So I want to thank everyone for dialing in tonight. We are going to send a replay out on the call. And have a great evening, and thank you for your support of the STA by dialing in. Okay, take care. Good night.